Welcome to This Week in Our Collective Heads. I'm Kevin.
I'm Owen.
And you are See-Through.
I know, it's awesome. Sorry.
Hi. So we have the April PlayStation Plus games. We have a bunch of free demos and remasters and all kinds of interesting news that is of interest to you. Welcome to episode 80.
This week in our collective heads, wanna put an old rumor to bed. Stereotype that you've all heard, how we're all just angry video game nerds. Most of us have actual jobs, kids and families and cats and dogs, yeah. This week in our collective heads, this week in our collective heads.
Welcome to episode 80, where we are talking about all the gaming news that is fit to publish. I mean, we skipped a little bit of it, but so we're going to go ahead and start with the PlayStation Plus games that we're getting in April. So we are getting Drawn to Death, which I don't know, we'll see. Lovers in a Dangerous Space-Time, which was free on Xbox last month. Okay. Patrick liked it.
Okay.
He said it was there's 4 different stations, but you can only man one of them, and then
Overcooked?
Yeah, kind of like that. And so if you, it's supposed to be a fun multiplayer game. Invisimals: The Lost Kingdom on PS3. I played an Invisimals game for the Vita, and it was awful, really, really bad. So I have very low hopes for that one. Alien Rage is a game presumably about aliens and rage.
They might have anger management issues.
Yeah, probably. Then we have 10 Second Ninja and Curses and Chaos on PS Vita. You can also play those on PS4.
10 Second Ninja is cool.
10 Second Ninja is supposed to be really interesting. I like the idea of really quick challenges.
Yeah.
I like that. So we'll see how those are, and we'll review those, and we'll come back at you with these are the ones you should get. At the moment, kind of underwhelming.
Yeah.
There's not really anything there that.
I mean, I'm gonna find. I want to play Drawn to Death because it was in development for so long, and is that Jason Schreier that did Drawn to Death?
No, Jaffe.
David Jaffe.
Who was
Schreier's a writer, I think. So David Jaffe, and from what I know, the game was actually a lot of fun. It's just that
I like the art style.
Torched it.
Yeah, it was a weird development cycle, and it was going to be free to play for a minute, and then it wasn't, and then it was something else, and then they're like, no, it's coming out, and then it went dark for and
then they were like, now you got to pay for it, and then they're just like, here you go, PS Plus. So we're giving it to most
basically,
of you?
yeah.
Because who doesn't have PS Plus?
Well, and it's an online game, so you would have to have Plus to play it. So if you're, I don't know, we'll see. But I did like the art style, and it looks like it will at least be interesting.
I like arena shooters. I was a big TF2 fan. I've been playing King of the Kill lately, which is a PC game. King of the Kill is way bigger, but it's weird though. I haven't played Overwatch for liking arena shooters, but I'm sure Drawn to Death. Why not?
Yeah. All right. We have some backwards compatible games. Major Nelson tweeted out that Army of Two, which again with the co-op thing,
a lot of fun.
Yeah. I've heard that one's good. Cameron played it.
You have to play it with someone.
Well, okay, I knew that part, and I didn't.
Yeah. If you play with a computer, it is not fun.
Yeah. Far Cry 3, on the other hand, is fun without somebody else playing with you. Far Cry 3 was the first Far Cry game that I played, and Patrick always whines about it because he's like, Far Cry 2 is a better game, and I'm like,
no, it's
Far
not.
Cry 3 is amazing.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm pretty sure 3 is still the best in the series, even though 4 came out.
Yeah. I like 3 a lot better than 4. Blood Dragon was fun too, though.
Yeah.
that was a bunch of goofy fun. And then Trio Solitaire.
That's what I want to play.
Yeah, and
top of the list.
All right. So do you know about it?
No.
Okay. So if we don't know what a backwards compatible game is,
sure,
we make it up on the spot. So Trio Solitaire is basically it's the Sol for single, trio for 3.
Okay.
And if you win the solitaire game, you get a threesome. It's another sex game.
Oh. All right.
Yeah. So it was surprising that they put that on Xbox. Usually they don't let those kind of games through, but this is the second game that we've made up for Xbox that ended up being a sex game. So that's probably why we just talk about games and don't actually make games. Yeah. So StarCraft.
Loved it. Brood War.
Okay.
Big fan.
All right. So would you play a remaster?
Absolutely.
Okay. So they are doing that, and I'm probably gonna see if I can try it.
Yeah.
Because I've heard a lot about StarCraft. I really enjoyed Warcraft 2 in particular, and StarCraft was around there.
Oh yeah.
And I like the different abilities that the characters bring and stuff like that. The variety between them.
Did you not play Warcraft 3?
I played it.
Oh okay.
I prefer Warcraft 2 just because of.
Because when Warcraft 3 introduced the heroes and stuff, it made a difference.
Yeah, I do like the heroes and stuff, but I don't know, something about.
It's that nostalgia thing, you know.
Yeah, I guess.
Whichever one you started on. Like, because I started with StarCraft. I was never very good at Warcraft. I'll play Warcraft 3 for fun with friends. Like, just... We have actually done that several times over the years where we're just, like, randomly like, man, we should play some Warcraft. And we hook up, like, 4 computers in the office and just play, like, a local thing against the computers for, like, hours.
There you go.
So that's a good time. But I started with StarCraft, and I actually played Brood War online. I was not very good.
Okay.
It was all about Protoss carriers, and I really just did it for fun. I didn't understand, like, how to actually win, but occasionally I did. So, you know.
Right. Yeah, there's another one. What was it called? It was like some game where I don't know. I can't think of it. But anyway, StarCraft Remaster. I'm gonna check it out. And hey, what's up to the chat? Thanks for watching. Next up, we have a couple of trials, betas, things like that. The Quake Champions beta starts April 6th, and that's going to run presumably only on PC. We know that that's coming to Xbox and PS4, but we don't really know anything else about that yet.
No.
It looks close to Unreal Tournament, which I loved. I love the ridiculous end of first-person shooters. I'm not so much for the really intense lifelike.
Not especially. I mean, I would just wish they would do another Quakes with a campaign, like something like Doom, where it's like a reimagining, restart. Like, I would love them to do that with Quake. Quake was fun.
Yeah.
Nail gun.
I do feel like we're coming out of where, because for a minute, like Titanfall and just it seemed like there was a bunch of games that were trying to do like the online only thing.
Yeah.
But I just want to play to go through the story and do the thing.
You know me. It takes me a lot to get online and play with people that, like, you know, you're just like, right, I got a headset. Oh, you killed me. Oh, you killed me too. Okay.
Yeah.
No, you still killed me. Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty much how that goes for us. So that starts April 6th, and you can sign up now and see if you get in. And then we have 2 more. The Titanfall 2 is having a free weekend to introduce the next DLC, and you can do both. You can demo both the single player and the multiplayer for a weekend. The single player is going to remain as a trial, which I think that's cool.
That's fun.
Like I like the idea. Like back in the 360, whenever you released a game, you had to have a trial of some kind.
Yeah.
Why is that gone? Because like there's a lot of games that I'm vaguely kind of maybe interested in, but I'm not going to spend a bunch of money on.
I think it's probably due to just like all of the indie games that came out. Like, are you going to make all those developers put a trial? Like,
they did for a while.
I know. But I think that's probably where it's hard. I think it would stand to reason, like, make all AAA developers, like, if you're a big slot, give us a trial. Like, how hard is that?
Yeah.
You guys have the bandwidth, but there's some, a lot of small developers. I could see why they would just be like, okay, this is too hard for us to like really produce.
Right, but I mean, you could
$10 game especially.
But you could set it up as like, okay, you can play for half an hour as the trial, and then after half an hour, your license expires.
Okay, that'd be interesting.
It's not hard. And then the last one is Mafia 3, which they have I think it's the first 3 missions. And I heard that the story was really good, but it also had a lot of
just a fluff
issues.
Yeah.
And
from what I could see of it, it wasn't necessarily that it was like issues. It was just that there's nothing there. Like, you know, it's the open world problem where it's okay. You either are gonna make like this vast open world that's full of stuff to do, or you're gonna make this vast open world that you got to go all the way over here. And I think somebody said that like there wasn't fast travel or something, where you would literally have to like drive all the way to this one spot to do this thing like over and over again.
Yeah.
So if you can get through that, I hear the story is great, but it just has that open world problem of like, why is this game open world just to be open world?
Yeah. Okay. Shift that down. All right, and then probably the biggest news of this week is Destiny 2, which if you're gonna do a trailer, teaser, whatever, have Nathan Fillion do it.
Sure.
And do like a meta self-aware thing where he's like, everything's been destroyed. Who's with me to go fight? And nobody's like, everybody just kind of sits there and he's like, how about loot? Everybody's like, yeah. And I thought that was pretty great.
I thought the fact that they go from what's his face from Game of Thrones, who I never remember, like, and then they get Nathan Fillion for Destiny 2, and like if they make Nathan Fillion the guy who's the narrator, that's a great call.
Apparently he was a character in like the second or third expansion. I didn't play it, so this is just information that I'm aware of because I inundate my brain with video game information. But he was a character that's brought over from the old one, and in the story they're saying that everything's been destroyed. The tower's been destroyed. The Citadel's Mass Effect, right?
Maybe.
All right. So
Citadel's one of those words that you could put into a lot of games.
Yeah,
right?
Basically. So like everything's been destroyed and busted, and that's why your stuff doesn't carry over, but it's still in the same world and everybody's starting from scratch. And I like it when a developer takes the time to put in a story reason that this thing happens.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we'll see how that goes.
I've noticed how a lot of people are upset with the fact that like they don't have carryover characters, and I'm like, well, have you never played any MMO that has a sequel? Like,
yeah, like
there's no way that they would let you do that. Like, I could see it maybe where if you have a registered account or something like that, like give you a weapon, or something cool like a vintage armor type thing.
There are some like accoutrement and title and like accessory things that don't have anything to do with gameplay, and some of those are carrying over. Okay. I don't know details on that, but some of that stuff is coming through.
No, that makes complete sense. So, but they can't bring in new players. Yeah, if everybody else is starting out maxed out above them.
And I feel like that when the game first launched, it was this is here. And like they changed that game completely.
Yeah, and they wanted it to be a 10-year game.
Yeah, and they kept working on it, kept working with it until it became something more. Yeah. And so I'm looking forward to that. I'm also looking forward to the fact that Destiny 2 is not going to be backward, like it's not going to be on 360 and PS3, so it's not limited by those things. And then the final thing that they're doing right is it's on PC. And I don't play first-person shooters a lot, but I know that's where they go. Sure. That's where they should be. If you have a first-person shooter and it's not on PC, you're doing it. Are they doing
crossplay? That'll be the interesting thing.
Crossplay, I don't know.
Because that's the smartest thing, like, to another MMO that's not an FPS. With Final Fantasy 14, they are crossplay servers. Like, anybody on a PS4 plays with the people that are on PC. Yeah. And it just grows your user base.
However, that is a Sony and PC. Yeah. And this would be like Sony and Xbox and PC. Yeah. And those still... Rocket League, like a year ago, we said... It happen?
I thought they brought it with Xbox.
No. Xbox can play with PC. PlayStation can play with PC. But it, like... Yeah... It does all kinds of weird and strange things, and apparently it's a nightmare for everyone. Okay. So, I don't know. But yeah, so we'll see that when it comes out September 8th, and I'm interested.
Sure.
So
I'm a lot more interested than I was the first time because I think it. I've played lots of MMORPGs, just not first-person shooter ones. Played WoW, played Final Fantasy 14. It's all fun.
Yeah.
I like though that they've figured it out. Apparently, after I think Taken King, the game got like a lot better.
Yeah.
Is it a game that I can play a whole lot? Maybe not. But I'm interested because they've already done this once.
Yeah.
And they're getting another chance at it. And like you said, with it not being on the older consoles, like it's also going to probably look a lot prettier.
Yeah, I think the last expansion for Destiny 1 was not available on the previous console, but like they had to build the game around a system that would work on the old ones.
Yeah.
And with the instant connectivity and the emphasis on connectivity in the new ones, I think it'll be a lot easier for them to keep a lot more server side and make it a lot prettier.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And like I said, September 8th, and I mean, we've known this was coming for a while because the ability to do a fresh start. Because they did make a lot of mistakes at launch that they've been fighting ever since. So I'm looking forward to it. We'll see how that goes. Continuing with the first-person shooter, Call of Duty is going back to World War II, which it's been a minute since we had one of those. Like,
very happy.
But like I think Black Ops was like after Black Ops and they went to the 3 studio system. We haven't been back to World War II.
Yeah, no, I think World of War was the last one I played. That was World War II.
I think the last one I played was on the Wii.
Yeah.
Which was actually...
You could play Call of Duty on the Wii? Okay.
Yeah, it was actually really fun because you just shot.
Oh, okay.
And I like that shooting.
Yeah.
And that was one of the things that the Wii did well. So, yeah. Some people who clearly don't know how game development works are like, is this because Battlefield 1 was such a success? It's like, no, they've been working on this for 2 years already.
Yeah, they don't know the cycle.
Like, you can't just turn around and spit out a game in a year, especially at the level that Call of Duty demands, because like these are consistently the best-selling games of the year.
I'm one of those that likes to play Call of Duty for the campaigns. Like, I don't play online at all.
Yeah.
But the story's always like a good 8 hours of fun. It's the perfect rentable game where you can rent that game, play the story.
See, I've been saying this for a while, and I know, Activision, that you watch our channel, so I don't know why you haven't done this yet.
Sure.
But if they sold the game for $60 and then they just sold the single player campaign for $20, I would buy it every year.
Yeah, like one of those DLC type things where you can just buy it digitally.
Yeah, just have a standalone where I can just buy that.
I would totally do that every single time.
Yeah, and I don't know why they don't.
Yeah, because I get why everybody wants to play Call of Duty, but I love first-person shooter campaigns like Wolfenstein and so on. Amazing stuff. Doom, I didn't finish it because I got to this part where I got really annoyed, but still, for the amount of time up to that point, it's tons of fun. Yeah. I know I'm not good enough to play against other people, so I don't like.
I just go online. See, that's why I can play Overwatch, because my job is to stay alive and in the general vicinity of my team. That is my job.
You heal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
that's probably what I would do.
Yeah, and that works for me because like if my job is to shoot the guys on the other side, I am an active detriment to my team for every moment that I'm
person you yell at, and you're just like, what are you doing in here?
Yeah, and no, I don't need that.
Yeah.
So where do you come down on the physical versus digital?
I prefer on all exclusives. It's a weird thing to have. I love my exclusives in physical because I can normally get, like the Steelbook or something. Like I got the collector's edition of Horizon, for example, that came with a statue. The Steelbook Horizon.
That's a pretty statue.
Yeah, I love Steelbooks. But then I also have PlayStation Plus, and every time that there's a flash sale, you get an extra bit of discount. And so I don't really care, but I have the problem with digital where it's just America's internet sucks. It's awful. Like if you have Uverse, I'm sorry, like me, where you're still on DSL all these years later and you download a game and it takes hours even though you have a 50 megabit connection.
Yep.
I can't do it. But I just pop my disc in, it installs, and I play.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
See, because I don't get to play the game until the next weekend.
Yeah,
that doesn't really affect me.
Sure.
Like and like preloads that the PlayStation and Xbox have been allowing me to do, lifesaver.
Yeah.
Because obviously, so those who are on the physical side, they've been really up about the Switch and just being able to buy the game, switch the games out.
Yeah.
Switch. But Lego City Undercover apparently has a 13 gig download on the Switch.
Okay.
And
it's tough.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Like for me, I'm all digital, so I don't care.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, okay, so it's in 2 packets instead of 1. That doesn't really affect me. But for people who really wanted this to be kind of an isolated system where you just put the thing in, and obviously you only have to do it once, and you can get 256 gig for like $20 if you watch on Amazon.
Oh yeah.
Like the SD memory is cheap. So cheap, and there's no reason, especially as someone who had the Vita and paid $64.
Asinine amount.
Yeah, it was but my Switch is basically going to be all digital.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna because like the SD memory is cheap. After you get past 256 gig, it does get pricey, but I'm gonna go ahead and bite the bullet, buy a giant one, and just put everything on there.
I will give them credit for something, like, even though, so look at that though, 13 gigs. That's it. Like, if you look at Zelda, ginormous game, and that game came under 20 gigs and looks as good as it does. I want to know how Nintendo does that, because I downloaded like Horizon, for example, is a 50 gig game.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely gorgeous game.
Yeah.
Looks great.
Yeah.
I mean, but Zelda looks great too. It's obviously a different graphical style. But how did they do that? How is it under 20 gigs?
And
I don't get it.
That's one of the things, because like before the Switch came out, they're like, oh, it's underpowered, and it's like, yeah, but the first party, like, they've been working underpowered for a very long time, and it's not about the tech. It's about, no, it's not going to look photorealistic or whatever, but you can sit there and look at it, and you can make design choices that allow you to work within those confines. And Zelda, the art style is chosen in such a way that they're able to make a gorgeous game on both the Wii U and the Switch, honestly.
Yeah, and then do it in the small size of it. That's the part that still just blows me away. Like, how is Nintendo so efficient with their space?
Okay, so Salt and Sanctuary came out on Vita last week.
Yeah.
Which, okay, let's see. I've beaten 4 bosses now. Okay. One this morning while I was waiting for you.
There
actually. We go. I killed a Cyclops Kraken, because that's what I'm fighting now.
Sure.
But yeah, they managed to on the,
it's like the Dark Souls thing, right? Like the
2D Dark Souls.
Yeah, okay.
It's so good.
Just want to make sure.
So on the PS4, it's like, I want to say it's like just under a gig, and on that it's like 160 meg.
So
that's amazing.
There's something. There's something that makes them able to do that, because you would think theoretically it would be the same size as the PS4.
Well, I mean, resolution, the art's going to be a little, but like you still have to have the maps and the coding and the program and like all this stuff. I don't code or program, but I'm impressed.
Yeah.
And Nintendo's art style allows them to do crazy things. But the 13 gig download is
buy a bigger memory card.
Weird.
Like, you remember, just try and put yourselves in our shoes. We're back in the 90s. If we wanted a 2 gig, I think what's the smallest flash drive I ever had? I want to say I had like a half gig flash drive. So like a 512 megabyte flash drive, and that was, I don't know, $20-$30.
So it's not in here right now, but this is a case for a 1 gig USB stick it in flash drive.
Yeah.
And that was, I think I paid like $50 for it.
Yeah.
But this was, like 5-6 years ago.
Exactly.
And memory has rapidly.
It's so cheap.
I love that about memory, because like I remember having to restrict my music library to 100 meg. Yeah, we're old. Anyway, moving on. Injustice 2 is is bringing in 3 favorite characters: Bane, Captain Cold, and Scarecrow. Which I like the variety of styles that they're bringing in, because like Bane fighting Scarecrow just sounds funny.
Yeah.
And yeah, like the roster just keeps getting bigger, keeps getting better.
It's interesting with Captain Cold, like, because I almost wonder if like that's as a like direct result of the show or something. Because obviously he's also one of the most iconic Flash villains. But
yeah,
I love him on the show. I love the guy who plays. Like you have to be able to take the way he talks, but once you just get used to it and accept that he's totally going all in on like the comic book style of talking,
absolutely,
he's one of the best characters on the show.
Yeah. Well, it was either last week or 2 weeks ago. They brought in who's the fire guy? Firestorm. Yeah, Firestorm, and it is it's basically the TV version.
Yeah.
Of Firestorm, and so I think that absolutely the popularity of the CW shows affects who they choose to bring in, and I'm happy with that, and they keep bringing them in, and
they're trying to make it a thing. Yeah.
Did you play the first one?
A little bit.
Okay.
Once it went free on Plus.
Oh yeah, I forgot it did that.
Yeah.
I loved it, and I think it's the best story that I've ever seen in a fighting game. Yeah.
Okay.
Like the single player campaign, like they instead of picking your character and going, they set up all these fights, and you fight with everybody against everybody.
Oh, that's a cool way to like warm up as far as
and
you learn how to do everybody's moves a little bit.
Yeah. And so, non-spoiler, there's multiple versions of each of the characters. There's a little bit of weirdness going on, and so it makes sense for you to be one then the other, and you can switch sides in the fight.
That's cool.
And yeah, so the story was excellent, and Injustice 2 is going to continue in that same universe. So I'm gonna get this, and I don't typically get fighting games.
Yeah.
Like I get
Marvel vs. Capcom.
I get Tekken.
Yeah. Every Marvel vs. Capcom I've owned.
Are you excited about the not Ultimate? What's the new one that they're making?
Right now I'm just calling it Marvel vs. Capcom 4, but if it has a separate name. But yes, I'm very excited.
Okay.
I can't wait for more news on that.
Yeah. Well, you can get it here whenever you're not on the show.
Oh, right.
We have Wreck-It Ralph 2. It's going to be subtitled Ralph Breaks the Internet.
Making a Wreck-It Ralph 2 movie?
Yeah.
Okay. Just making sure. No, they're just making a video game.
I mean, that would be a weird... It'd be fun if they
I think it's been done, like, where they've made... It's an old game. Dang. I heard it on a store recently, but... Oh, Goonies 2. Mm-hmm. So there is a Goonies 2 video game.
Yep.
There's not a Goonies 2 movie. So.
Nope. Okay. Nor is there a Goonies 1 video game.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's one of the weird... Like, I don't know how this thing happened, but I think it's hilarious.
Yeah. I saw it played on a GDQ.
Nice. Nice. So, okay, so the subtitle is Ralph Breaks the Internet. I think that means they're doing, like, a mobile game. Like, I think that they're going to take those characters and put them on, like, phones and have them go out, because like before they were in an arcade, and that's self-contained.
Sure.
So I think that now they're gonna bust out and do like mobile and jump to devices, and I really enjoyed the first one.
I loved it.
I like some kids movies. A lot of them I love my kids, but I'm not gonna sit through. I'll get bored, and
it's pretty much Pixar. Like Pixar, you have my attention.
Yeah. I still haven't seen Moana. Yeah. I want to see Lego Batman though.
I heard
Lego Batman looks hilarious, and
heck, I still haven't seen Zootopia, and I heard that was awesome.
Zootopia was really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think it's interesting to see what they're gonna do with it. Sure. Because I like the first one, and I hope that Alan Tudyk comes back. I don't know if he will, but I hope he does, and they figure out a way to...
He's been killing it on voiceovers lately, so...
Yeah, well, he was the antagonist for the first one.
Yeah.
So, I hope he comes back, and then I like... What's his name? The guy that... The main character.
Ralph?
But...
John...
he was in...
No.
Yep, like that actor. Appreciate you.
The guy that's in all the Will Ferrell movies.
Yeah. The Step Brothers guy. So, anyway, the next thing we have that is a personal recommendation. There's a lot of games that come out on Xbox and PlayStation. Basically, I wanted to bring this one to your attention because I played it on PS4 and loved the crap out of it. It's Enter the Gungeon. And have you played that one?
I've heard of it.
Okay, so that's the one where everything's a gun or a bullet, and
right,
and you have there is
it's a rogue game, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And I love those, and it's that and a twin stick shooter, and you
okay.
put those together.
I love twin stick shooters.
Yeah. So you've got all that going, and one of the patches that they released maybe a month ago is you can get a gun that shoots guns that shoots bullets. So you
shoot the gun, a gun flies out, and then
it spins around and shoots bullets.
Okay, that's cool.
And yeah, it's
just one of those wacky whatever we could think of type things. Like,
yeah,
where and you have like the Insomniac style where they just come up with like all those like different weapons,
ridiculous styles of weapons. And there's also the where you collect all the things. Because basically once you've seen an enemy or a gun or a boss or whatever, then it goes into your, I think it was the Necrogunnicon or something. Like there's a bunch of different references that are entertaining if you've seen the original source material that they're referencing. So I recommend it, and it's coming to Xbox Tuesday, I believe. So yeah, check that out if you're a fan of roguelikes, twin stick shooters, or humor.
It's like the 5th? Tuesday the 5th? Something like that.
I don't know.
Today's Sunday the 2nd. Oh, the 4th.
Yeah, sure. I don't know. We don't know days, and we don't know when you're watching this. No. So that's my excuse. We also have a release date for Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale.
I have mixed feelings on this.
Okay. I can't play Telltale games.
Oh, I've played every single one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, so what is your favorite?
Probably Borderlands, and then Walking Dead Season 2.
Walking Dead Season 2, free on Xbox.
Yeah.
Right now, actually.
Yeah. Now, a lot of people are going to say Season 1. I just like Season 2 more because you get to see more of Clem's development. But, I love Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm a big comic fan. I'm excited for that. The thing that I'm not excited for is that they keep doing this thing of, like, we're there. If you didn't know, Season 3 of Walking Dead is currently...
Right, they're on episode 3.
3 just came out this last Tuesday.
Right.
Cool. But we still got 2 episodes left, but you're going to release another game.
Yeah.
Give me my full game, because I buy the season pass for all your stuff. I'm going to play it. Just give me the full, like, give me the rest of the game that I'm currently already paid you for.
Yeah. Yeah. I wish that they would fix their system, because like on a regular basis, especially on iOS, they just crash and like saves get lost. I played halfway through the second episode of season 1 of Walking Dead.
Yeah, I remember you telling me why you quit.
And then, well, no, this was a separate thing. I had gotten almost to where I was going to quit.
Okay.
And then I turned it back on.
Okay.
And it was like, new game? No, play the thing I played last week. New game. You want a new game? Like, it was just gone, and I don't know.
I've never experienced that problem on the consoles, but they do. I mean, one, like a lot of people complain just about the engine in general, and the engine does. They need it. Like, as much money as you guys are making, make a new damn engine.
But they can't, as long as they're making 2 and 3 games all at the. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, I think they stretched themselves. I think that it was very telling. I don't know their names because I'm very. I think it was really telling that recently, like 3 or 4 of their major people left, and I don't know. I'm terrible at names, and I don't remember what company they went to, but they went and started working for a big company. That was like people who had been like directors on their Telltale games and writers on their Telltale games.
Yeah.
And they all left like as a group, and I think that tells you something.
Interesting.
That or they were just done. One of the two. Maybe they were just ready to move on. It could have been that. It could have been completely amicable. But.
Yeah, because it can be difficult to just stay in the same... Like, if you're working with the same engine, same team. Like, yeah, the story. Excuse me. Stories, dialogue, all that stuff is different, but. Yeah. I can see how you would burn out of that.
Yeah, but from my standpoint, I love what they are. Their thing, like I've told you many times about things like Life is Strange and so on.
Yeah,
they're good date night games. We just play through the story. It's like a little moving comic book. It's entertaining. Yes, it would be great if they would be mechanically better. Telltale Batman was awful. Absolutely. I don't know if you saw any of the screenshots of like things that happened, like Bruce Wayne, like where his head's like.
I've seen some of the screenshots. Actually, what I'm working on right now is Telltale Batman, the silent treatment. He's not saying anything to anyone if I have a choice. I'm just sitting through all the prompts and just seeing where the dialogue goes. Because I think that... Because, like, Batman is the one that was most interesting to me.
Sure.
And so...
It was a great story.
Yeah, and, I watched some of Patrick's playthrough of it. And, I just really want to see what happens if Batman just stands there for half the time and just stares.
Which is what he does anyway.
Yeah, like depending on which version of Batman you got, that's kind of canon.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, I can appreciate that.
So that's a playlist up on our channel that hasn't actually been uploaded yet, but we're working on it, and that's coming.
It exists.
Yes. Shovel Knight.
Yeah.
Did you play that?
Oh yeah, of course.
Okay. So
fantastic, like one of the best like retail like Zelda 2 combined with Mega Man. Like that's my comparison. It's Mega Man and Zelda 2. Which it brought all the good stuff about Zelda 2 and left out, all the crap.
Yeah. So I love the crap out of it. I beat it in like a day and a half.
Yeah.
Which I don't actually have time to play games. Like, okay, so if a game like really grabs me, then I'll play it at work. And like my work schedule is such that I have to work, and then I have like an hour and a half, maybe 2 hour window, and then I really should be trying to get to sleep because my sleep driving at 67 miles down the road is
a good call.
Yeah, so I need to be trying to rest as much as possible.
Yeah.
But this game I beat in like 2 4-hour stretches and like ate pretty hard into my time I should be sleeping schedule.
It's definitely one of those games
totally
like,
worth it.
As soon as you pick it up, you can't put it down.
Yeah, it was like the music is great, and like I never got stuck for like there were some of the bosses, the propeller boss was the one that gave me the most trouble. But like the story is great, and like it there's a graphic that's gone around. I think I've tweeted it out at some point, but it's like what game developers think 8-bit looked like and what it actually looked like, and like it's a little bit blurrier, and so instead of being like this crystal sharp thing, it looks like you can tell what it is.
Yeah,
and they there's also an interesting piece on Yacht Club's development of it. Like they deliberately limited themselves to only 16 colors, and the music had to fit within these certain parameters.
Yeah.
And a lot of times restrictions can create some of the most amazing gameplay elements. Like if I don't know if you've ever played Mega Man on a bad emulator where it doesn't slow down. Because like there's sections in Mega Man 2 and 3 specifically where it's like a bullet.
Where they fix the problem?
Oh
yeah, that's why you can't play Mega Man on, like, if you played old school Mega Man, you can't play it on an emulator half the time because it doesn't.
Right, because it doesn't slow down, and they set up those screens, those scenarios to work within that parameter, and it's not designed to be played at full speed. It's designed to be challenging while flickering slowly past. And
and because that was also like early on when they didn't necessarily know how to use the hardware, and if you have the Mega Man Legacy Collection, where they emulated that slowed down, like they did it on purpose, which is actually fantastic.
Yeah, I love that.
Because anybody who learned that way, and plus also like if you play that game on full speed, like it's already so hard.
Yeah.
Like Mega Man 1 and 2 are some of the hardest games I've ever played, and I've still never beat them.
Yeah. I've beaten Mega Man 2 but only with so my system where I felt that I can say that I beat a game using save states is if I save at the beginning of a stage.
Sure.
So basically I'm giving myself as many tries as it takes because yes, I can consistently get to the dragon. I can beat him some of the time. So I've beaten that legitimately.
Okay.
After that, it gets stupid hard.
Yeah.
And I want to be able to play the game and finish it, but I don't want to have to play. Well, and I don't want to have to play for an hour every time to lose in this 4-minute section.
Yeah, no, I have no problem with save states.
So, yeah. I have seen...
I was so happy that they built those into, like, the 3DS. And we, like, as far as... That's one of the genius things they did with their...
Virtual console.
Yeah, there we go.
Excuse me.
With their virtual consoles, the save stating. I do it in every single game I play.
Yeah. So anyway, back to Shovel Knight.
Yep.
So that released on the Switch with the new Torment Knight, I think, DLC.
Oh, really?
So, yeah.
It's out already?
For them.
Oh.
But we're getting it in April, and that is still free content that they continue to give us on a game we bought...
Years ago?
Yeah, forever ago.
I think 3 years ago is when I got it.
I don't know. I don't know when Shovel Knight came out.
I got it whenever it released on PS4.
Yeah, same.
Okay.
It was like that week, and yeah, they're still giving us free stuff. And I tried the Plague Knight DLC, but that's movement was too weird. it was a
like
little.
The weapons
a little bit,
are just strange.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't. It didn't. Like after how well Shovel Knight controls and just everything about him in works.
Yeah.
And then you play as Plague Knight. It's just no, it wasn't. But I've heard that this one's supposed to be quite a bit better.
Yes.
Patrick, idiot.
No, I'm checking the release date for Shovel Knight.
Okay.
All right, so Shovel Knight came out June 26, 2014. So yeah, we're coming up on 3 years, and we're still getting free stuff.
And they didn't make you pay for a season pass for it.
No, they were just like, well,
and it was like a $20 game.
Yeah, I don't I don't know. Like I want them to make something else so that I can give them more. Like if they set up a donate button,
yeah,
I would send them another $20.
I know a lot of people who have just bought it on several consoles just to give them more money.
So I'm planning on buying it on the Switch when I get one of those, because that game was so good.
Yeah.
And anyway, so if you for whatever reason haven't played Shovel Knight, buy it. That game is absolutely phenomenal, and we highly recommend it. And then come April, it's gonna have the Torment DLC on all the other platforms that you play it on. So I had forgotten about this, but apparently to play the DLC, you have to have beaten the game. I had deleted it.
Did you delete your saves?
So I'm beating it again.
Did you delete your saves?
And I could get them again.
Oh, okay, I was like, my cloud save should still be out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
why not just play it again?
Why not? Because I mean, it's been a couple of years since I played it.
It would suck if they made you have had to like beat the Plague Knight. Because that would never happen.
That might be a deal breaker.
That would never happen.
Yeah.
I couldn't I did one stage and I was done.
Well, see, the story was really interesting because like when you go into so you remember whenever you went into the city, you went down the ladder, and off to the left there was like this lady. There was a lady down there in the basement that wouldn't talk to you.
Okay. Yeah.
She talks to Plague Knight, and she's his source of all the upgrades and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah. So like the story was interesting, and you're playing as a villain. That's cool.
Yeah.
But I'm with you. I couldn't get over the movement.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to this. So. Sorry, logistics.
Okay.
All right, and then the last bit of news that we have this week is Mad Catz filing for bankruptcy.
After the guy died.
The guy died?
I think the CEO died.
Oh.
I have to confirm that, but I think I read that they basically, like, big honcho dude died, and they started like dividing up like assets, and the company's just going to kablooey.
That is unfortunate. See, I mean, I keep up pretty well, and so I know that Mad Catz had been like all in on Rock Band 4, which did not do well because that was a thing that we did a while ago, and yeah, Rock Band 4 and the Guitar Hero, they just didn't capture our imagination like they did back in the day, and plus they like all the equipment was more expensive and everything got DLC'd to hell and back.
Maybe I'm wrong.
And yeah, so
somebody died. That was a part of some electronics company.
I mean, during this show, that's probably been true.
Yeah,
because
not from
people are dying
listening
all the
to
time.
us though, because we're awesome.
Right, we are not in any way claiming responsibility for this alleged death.
No.
Well, that's a great way to end the show.
Yeah, right. But the thing that's sad about Mad Catz, like, obviously I haven't used one in years. I have money now. I can buy like
Right.
I can buy a legitimate PlayStation controller. I can buy a legitimate Xbox controller. But as a kid, man, like, every single person had some Mad Catz thing. They had a Mad Catz memory card. Mm-hmm. They had a Mad Catz like crappy controller that broke after a couple months because
that was the one that the Visitor played with.
Yeah.
Like,
that was player. That was
my
player
controller.
2.
You play that one.
That was player 2. That you don't get to use my legitimate controller.
I also like the ones with like I remember a Super NES controller that had like 4 different switches at the top, and you could like put stuff on turbo or slow mode. Like you could do all kinds of weird things with those controllers. But yeah, I'd forgotten about the memory cards too.
Yeah,
because
no, the Nintendo the PlayStation 1 memory cards, those things were expensive. Again, Sony.
Really, yeah, Sony, stop it.
But anyway, those were expensive. So of course you got the Mad Catz ones, and they failed. They kill your Final Fantasy VII save, and then you rage. But it's still cheaper to go get another Mad Catz memory card than pay $50 for a Sony one.
Yeah. So, thank you for joining me. Patrick is out at Fan Expo in Dallas, and our half invisible co-host. So where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me on Twitter at word925, 3 O's per word.
What happened to word? I thought that was you.
They locked me out, and they wouldn't let me get back in, so I had to create another Twitter handle. So it's the same thing except 925 on the end.
Right. I'm not following.
Have you been tagging me and stuff?
Maybe.
Okay.
Okay, and then you have your own podcast, which is different from this one.
Yeah. During football season, we have the Fantasy Sportscast Online, which we do on Twitch. And then during the off season, you can actually find me at twitch.tv/wordword. But Fantasy Sportscast Online, if you enjoy fantasy football talk with me and my friend.
There you go. So that is the news that we have for this week. This has been episode 80. We are TWIOCH. You can find me at TWIOCH on Twitter and Facebook and hamsternet.com. I don't know.
I thought you were going to say X-Hamster, and I was going to be like,
X-Hamster?
It's a porn site.
Porn site.
Yeah.
We do not endorse, nor are we funded by any porn sites. But if you run a porn site and you are interested in sponsoring us, reach out to me at Twitch on Twitter. Thank you.
Tweet presented by Pornhub.
Oh, I can only dream.
That's what happens when you leave, Patrick.
It's true. This is what happens. See you next week.
Man, 80. Nice.
Yeah.
Going strong.
I'm proud of it.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.